and speak with the founder and principal of the Radiant Spectrum, Samantha So Tan. Samantha, good morning. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning, Susan. It's a pleasure.
And congratulations on the Radiant Spectrum receiving the President's Challenge Social Enterprise Award.
Thank you. It's a huge recognition.
Yeah, let's talk about first, what led you to start the Radiant Spectrum?
Well, after my first encounter with a 4-year-old boy with autism, I realized that a lot of our children with special needs, they have a keen interest in music, but the existing schools out there, they just can't accommodate them. It could be for behavioral reasons or cognitive reasons. So it's expected that our children, when they go to a mainstream music school, they have meltdowns. They can't settle in or they throw tantrums. Teachers out there in most schools, they're also not trained to work with children with special needs. So on top of that, our kids also find it difficult. There were teachers and schools out there that say, oh yeah, we can work with children with special needs, but there wasn't one specifically created for these children. So when schools out there encounter children with higher needs, they would actually turn down the child. So I took a big leap of faith and I decided, you know what, let's try this. I set up the Radiant Spectrum and we exclusively serve children with special needs.
And so in 2 short years, you've actually grown the number of students that attend the Radiant Spectrum Music School to over 200 students. You won this award. What does this mean to you? You took a leap of faith, as you said, and jumped headlong into this.
Well, when I first started, I only had a handful of students.
Yeah.
I didn't really, do market research to see how big this would be. I just went with my gut. It was almost as if I don't do this, I would let myself down.
Right.
So I didn't expect that the demand was really out there, that there were a lot of children out there. Most of them won't be able to achieve mainstream certifications like grade 1, grade 2 in any instrument, but the desire to learn and to explore is still there.
And let's talk about the work you do now, Samantha. It's a music school that caters specifically to students with needs, and they attend the programs on a weekly basis. Is this music programs that they do as part of what we call extracurricular activity?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
It's like enrichment, just like any.
Okay, that's the word I was looking for, enrichment.
Yeah.
So share more about this work.
Yeah, so we do teach music to children and young adults with special needs. Most of our students are diagnosed with autism, but we also have students with global developmental delay, motor skill delay, speech delay, intellectual disability, ADHD, cerebral palsy, and many more. Most parents, although they are parents of a special needs child, being Singaporean, you do want the best for your child. So they do seek out enrichment activities for their child. So our students enroll with us because they won't be able to thrive in a mainstream environment. When they come to us, not only are our teachers trained to work with them, but we also have our in-house curriculum that makes music accessible for them now.
So let's talk about that, because you've developed a proprietary curriculum.
Yeah.
And it helps each person individually. How?
Well, the existing mainstream curriculum is simply not designed for a special needs child. For instance, we have a lot of children with weak fine motor skills. It's very normal to have an 8-year-old who can't write. So in a mainstream environment, this means, this child completely doesn't attempt any written theory worksheets. But at our school, we redesign worksheets in a way that the child can learn. So this could mean using Velcro worksheets instead, or offering multiple choice options instead of open-ended blanks. So children can point to the answers if they can't write, or if they are non-verbal and they cannot voice out the answers. We make communication possible.
Okay, so each child could have slightly different way of, for sure, learning, but the way of attending the program compared to maybe the child even sitting next to him. So it's individually tailored to the child or to the young adult.
It is.
Wow. I mean, you've been doing this for some time now. 2 years isn't a long time, but you've grown exponentially over such a short time. What has the impact that you've seen on music, specifically on persons with special learning needs?
So generally, we all sign up for music lessons, because of the cognitive benefits.
Yeah.
Learning music utilizes your senses. You read with your eyes, listen with your ears, and you press with your hands. So our kids also enjoy these benefits, spatial awareness, hand-eye coordination. But most importantly, what I've noticed is music has been a great tool for our children to communicate and to express, because this is one of their biggest gap skills. With music, a non-verbal child can enjoy an activity with a friend or an adult or a teacher. So music gives our children an opportunity to form social connections despite their communication deficits.
Have you seen specific transformations in some of your students?
I have a student who's 15.
Yeah.
We had a period that was a little bit challenging. And I realized that he really, really liked Disney songs. So it was quite interesting because I don't remember the exact turning point, but there was one lesson that I recall very, very clearly because he wasn't feeling good. And he actually could tell me, I need a moment, I need to play this song.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was him regulating himself. He was aware that he was getting upset.
Okay.
But then he had a tool, to help calm himself down. And then I understood from there as well.
Wow. I mean, this is obviously a direct impact of the lessons that he had attended at the school, but also a way for him to express himself through music. And he knew that by taking a moment to play the piano, that he would get over this bump.
Yes, that's right.
Wow. I mean, this must be so fulfilling for you, Samantha, really. I'm just putting myself, in the shoes of a teacher. It really is, isn't it?
It is. I mean, if you get to see children with special needs make small wins all the time, it just fuels you and motivates you to continue on for them. Yeah,
you want to do more, don't you?
I don't think any of us would go back to teaching neurotypical children.
Yeah, and the wanting to do more led you to actually organize a Christmas concert, which you've already held at the end of November. This is the first Christmas concert you've done. You held it at the Enabling Village. I mean, wow, putting this together, how did that go?
It was very challenging because it is our first attempt at a themed concert.
Yeah.
So, but actually for the Radiant Spectrum, we do have a regular annual student recital.
Yes.
So for the student recital, any student can perform. So, a lot of our kids in school, they don't get selected for performances, graduation shows, because they don't focus well, they can't listen. So our student recital was a way for us to give our students a platform to shine. And when you look in the audience, parents are tearing up, So it's a very nice feeling. So after that, we started asking ourselves, can we create more performance opportunities for our students? So the Christmas concert was our first attempt at, handpicking 15 performers and creating a storyline. So not only do our students get to perform, but they also get speaking parts. If you had watched it, it's quite messy. Some of them are also holding their scripts, so it's definitely not professional. But you can see that the kids are having fun.
Yeah, that's so real, isn't it?
It does.
I think that's what we want. And you also had some special guests who have performed in the Purple Symphony previously.
Yeah, so along the way, we also make a lot of friends.
Yes.
So, having external guests join us to perform, it's just all part of building this community.
Yeah, I know you're very strong on inclusion, and you show this by also employing persons with disabilities. You also employ senior employees, and they actually make up 20% of your workforce at the Radiant Spectrum.
Yes, that's right. We did hire a teaching assistant who is diagnosed with autism. So this journey has been very interesting for us, really, because it was her mother who sent in a job application for her. Her mom was the one who, wrote in and said, my daughter has autism, but she also has a piano certification and she aspires to be a teacher one day. So even the interview process, I I did it with both the mom and the daughter together, so that in the event that my colleague would be lost for words, her mom could fill in for her so that I can understand her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I think
wow.
for the Radiant Spectrum, we really wanted to walk the talk. We teach children with autism. So it was only right that we stay open, to hiring someone with autism. And she has her own hopes and dreams, right? Her aspiration is to be a teacher. So who am I to say no to that? I have to give it a shot.
And it's worked out?
It has.
Wow.
It was challenging.
Yeah.
It did take us about 3 teachers to coach one colleague.
But it's amazing that you stuck with it.
Journey. Yeah.
Wow. And that's it, isn't it? It is a journey for you as well, Samantha. You took a great leap of faith, as you said, jumped into this possibly with one eye closed, or maybe even both eyes closed. I don't know. But here you are 2 years later, receiving an award. And this is the President's Challenge Social Enterprise Award, of course. But on a more personal note, you've done this now. It's been 2 years, 200 students later. What have you learned from this journey? How have you been impacted by the Radiant Spectrum and the children?
I definitely became a more accepting person. I also learned to celebrate every small win. Growing up in Singapore, so society conditions you to aim for big things like scoring well for exams or climbing the corporate ladder, comparing salaries, houses, or cars. But when you work with children with special needs, every small accomplishment is worth celebrating. And if you know that you're the one who made a difference in their lives, these experiences, you carry them with you for the rest of your life. So my students are growing, changing, maturing. It's never a dull day. So I'm also growing.
Yes, and that's the thing, isn't it? As we give, we receive. As the children and your students grow, so do you, so do all of us, and their parents too. And I salute the wonderful work you do, Samantha, and I wish you the best. And, may you continue to grow the Radiant Spectrum. Thank you so much for making time to speak with me today.
Thank you, Susan. It was a pleasure.
It was my pleasure, definitely. Samantha So Tan is founder and principal of the Radiant Spectrum. You can find out more about the work that they do on their website, theradiantspectrum.com. A great and inspiring story to end off your Singapore weekend today. And, I really wish Samantha and her team the best, and all of you too, as you tackle the work week ahead. But I do wish you a wonderful Sunday. I thank you very much for your company. I'll be back next Saturday morning at 7. Please join me again.